I'm at the Chelmsford Library with a wonderful Chelmsford artist, Trina Teal. How are you today, Trina?
Great, TC. It's wonderful to be here with you.
And at the library today, I'm here because we have a reception for your art exhibit, right?
Yes, we're having a reception. We've been up for the month of October, and we'll be up for one more week, but we are having the reception today.
With the other artists?
Yes, the other artists are Donna Berger and Rita Thompson, and the three of us all have studios at the Chelmsford Center for the Arts.
How long have you had the studio there, Trina?
I've had it for 6 years.
About 6 years. And how do you like it? I know I've interviewed you before there, and you seem to like it there. You have a beautiful studio space.
Yes, it's so wonderful to have a space to just always go to with my art all ready to work. You know, I don't have to clean up anything. It's all ready to go. And I tend to go there probably about 3 times a week to get in there to just really lose myself in a painting.
Nice.
That's my goal.
You've done some beautiful paintings, many beautiful paintings, which I often feature them on my Chelmsford Arts page on Facebook, a group page, and also my Daily Meditations page, because they're fabulous, Trina. You do great work. You sell a lot of your works too, don't you?
Yes, I've been selling my work, and it's always a thrill. And
yeah. I know, because I've sold a few paintings too. It's a thrill. It's mostly, to me, it shows support. You know, it's not that I need that money per se to live on. It's just that it shows support for one's artwork.
Right.
That to me is so important, because you say, oh, why should I keep doing this if nobody's going to buy and display my work in their homes?
Right.
You know?
Well, that's always a dilemma for an artist, is why do you keep painting? And usually when you try to stop, you realize that you don't feel very good.
Yes,
So that's why you keep going.
Yes. Yeah, I paint a lot in, I call them art quote books, where I put a quote and then a painting. And they're small, so they're easy to do, like every day, a painting. If you want, if my cats won't get into the paints, that makes it easier. But it's good practice too, you know? Right. Somebody wrote something, you only learn by doing. Yes. You know, you really learn art by painting every day or drawing, or whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
Just keep doing it, you know? And so on your exhibit today, how many paintings do you have there, Trina?
I think I have 11 paintings here.
11 here too.
Yes.
And I saw some of them before, which I'll videotape later. Beautiful boat paintings, and you do a lot of seascapes. What would you call them? And what would you call the ones with boats? Also seascapes.
They're nautical.
Yes,
theme
nautical.
paintings. I tend to paint in series, and some series will stick around longer than others.
Oh, I see.
And I've been doing sort of these seascapes and boat paintings for 3 years now. So this one's sticking around.
Well, they're beautiful, and I think they sell too, a lot of your boat paintings, right?
Yeah.
Nautical paintings.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And the media that you used, sometimes you used to use acrylic, but now you seem to be doing more oils? Or?
Yes, I've been using water-soluble oils for ever since I switched to seascapes. I've been using that medium, and I did it primarily because I wanted to try a different medium, and I wanted to try a different subject matter and have them coincide at the same time.
And they look beautiful, though. And I also use water-soluble oils. I find the cleanup is faster. Do you find that?
Oh, yes.
Because, you know, with oils, it's hard to get the oil paints out of the brushes, it
Absolutely,
seems, and everything. Right. Plus, it's a longer drying time with the mixed oil paints versus the water. Right. The water might dry in a day or two where it's not too bad, and fully dry in maybe a week or something.
Yeah, weeks, right.
But I love the look of oil too. I hate to say it, but more than acrylics. Yeah. And you could blend them so much better, I think, more beautifully with oils, I find.
There's I think of it as pros for both mediums, and right now I'm just enjoying the oil paints.
Well, you do a great job, Trina. You're a great artist. Hopefully you'll keep doing that for the rest of your life. I hope and produce many thousands more paintings, which adds to the beauty of the world. And we need more beauty in the world.
Yes, we do.
Well, thank you very much, Trina, for talking with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks. So I'm at the Chelmsford Library lobby with Donna Berger. How are you, Donna?
I'm great.
Thanks for coming back on the show, Donna. I think I've interviewed you once or twice already on the Chelmsford News Show.
You've been really good to us, all three artists at the Chelmsford Center for the Arts.
Oh, thank you, Don. You know I support the artists a lot, and I have a group on Facebook called Chelmsford Arts, actually. I've had it for, what, 6, 7 years now, I think.
And a lot of viewers.
A lot of viewers, yes, yeah. And so this will be on the Chelmsford News TV show, and we have one of your paintings right there in back of you, right? Could you tell us about that painting? What's it called, Safari?
So this is Safari Bubbles, and
Yeah.
what it is, it's, you know, I do children's books, and so this right here was a series of books that I wanted to do about bubbles, of kids like wishing for something, and
Nice.
I planned at some point to have a series of them, to have them blowing a bubble on one page, and you open the page up and you see what they're wishing for. So that
Wow.
inside the bubbles, he wants to be with these African animals, you know,
Yes.
elephant and monkeys and zebras
Yeah.
and all that. And
Nice.
so that's, and I have to tell you, I was very excited. A woman came, because I do portraits, and a woman came up to me, she goes, "Could you do a painting like that of my child?" I said, "I would love to."
Oh,
so this
wonderful.
is an idea for, you know, a potential portrait.
Did you do that portrait for
No,
them?
she's just asked me. It
Oh,
was
she
about
just
a week
asked,
ago. Yeah.
Because that would be wonderful for any family who would like to a portrait of their child or themselves blowing a bubble with some of the things they wish for.
Yeah.
To contact Donna Berger, and you're always available at the Chelmsford Center for the Arts, right,
Yes,
Donna?
I am. I'm there almost every day.
Right, and is your number listed, or
it
are
is.
they able to find you somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Well, my number is 978-387-4190.
Great.
And I'm at the Chelmsford Center for the Art almost every day. And if you want to knock on the front door, I'm probably there and let you in.
Wonderful, because I think that would be great for commissions, and you do take commissions for other portraits too, by the way.
Yes,
I've
okay,
seen some
people and
beautiful
pets.
ones that you've done. I've photographed them many times, and you've done beautiful commissioned portraits, Donna.
Thank
I don't know how you do it, but you get the image of the person down very accurately and beautifully.
Thank you. I really try to make sure I get the eyes in particular to you know, have life to them.
So how long have you been an artist, Donna?
Oh, I've been an artist since I was a little girl, and my father was really into art, and my mother was very supportive. I actually took classes when I was in elementary school at the Cleveland Museum of Art, and every week we'd be in a different gallery, and I got to learn about Matisse and Picasso and all the artists at a very young age, so that was very exciting for me.
Wonderful. Well, and how many pieces do you have in this exhibit right now at the Chelmsford Library?
Oh, I think I have 12 pieces.
12 pieces about,
Yes.
and you're here exhibiting with Trina Teal, another Chelmsford Center for the Arts artist, and Rita Thompson.
Yes, my
another,
neighbors.
Your neighbors. So you three have been together there with studios at the CCA for what, about 10 years now or something?
Well, actually, it's been about 6 years, but I've been there for close to 10 years because I was one of the original artists.
Well, thank you very much, Donna.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking with us. So I'm at the Chelmsford Library with my friend Rita Thompson. How are you today, Rita?
Oh, I'm very well today, Tom. How are you?
Good, thanks. And Rita, I don't think we did a video previously, right? A video show or anything?
No.
We've done a lot of photographs
Oh, we
I've
have.
taken of you and your work.
Yes, you have.
Because Rita is an artist with a studio at the Chelmsford Center for the Arts, right, Rita?
That's correct.
And how long have you had the studio there, Rita?
I want to say more than 10 years.
More than 10 years,
I
wow.
think so. Time flies. You
Yes,
just,
10 years, that's amazing.
Yeah, and hundreds of paintings, really.
And how do you like it, having a studio there?
Oh, it's so handy because it takes wear and tear off the house.
Yes, that's for sure. And you actually paint in your studio as well?
Oh
Oh,
yes.
mostly-
Oh,
yeah.
yes. And we have keys so we can go in it whenever we want.
Oh, that's nice. And how often would you say you go in? How many days a week?
Well, I try to get there at least
Oh,
3 days,
3 days,
sometimes
yeah.
more, sometimes less,
Yeah,
depending on what happens in life. Sometimes
Yes.
it gets in the way.
yes. So how long have you been an artist, Rita?
Since I could hold a crayon. No, seriously.
Wow,
yeah,
your
yeah.
whole life.
The Boston Public Schools, we had crayons in the first grade.
Yes.
And in the fourth grade, they took away the crayons and gave us watercolors.
Oh.
And then in junior high and high school, I was an art major.
In junior high and high school?
Yeah,
Wow,
I was an art
wonderful.
major.
So you've always loved art, it
Oh,
sounds like,
always,
Rita.
yes, always.
Wow. Nice. And this is one of your paintings is right there in back of you, right? The nymph, it's called?
The nymph, yes.
Nice. And your style now, is it abstract, Rita?
Yes, I painted a realist for many, many years. It was mostly just city scenes, three deckers, brick blocks, desolation, things like that. And then after like 20 years, you get tired. I wanted something different.
Yes.
And so I went abstract. And it's all about the color and the texture now.
Nice. So are the sales okay here in Chelmsford with abstract paintings? Because I find most people like realism here in the suburbs of Chelmsford. But if you go into New York City, for example, abstract is much more in demand and accepted, it seems to me.
That's
but I don't
true.
see much of a demand, because I like to paint abstractly, but most people around here don't seem to appreciate it as much as realistic painting.
Well, there are some people. I've had quite a few sales,
Yes.
believe it or not. There
Oh,
are
yes, I
certain
do.
people. And because I'm probably the only abstract in town.
Yeah, there aren't many. I don't know of any others that specialize in abstract painting other than you, Rita.
There's probably somebody at Western Avenue. In Western Avenue.
Oh, in
there's-
Western Ave
yeah,
there
there's
is, yeah.
hundreds of artists.
Oh, yes,
there.
many over there in Lowell.
Yeah.
So you have an exhibit up, it's up for about a month, right, Rita? But-
Yes,
So it might be up for about another week or two.
that's
and,
right. Yes.
And you have about a dozen paintings in this
Yeah,
exhibit?
just about a dozen, yes.
And you're here with your other artists at the Chelmsford Center for the Arts, Donna Berger and Trina Teal, right?
Yes.
And that's, in the background there, we have one of Donna Berger's paintings, and there's one of Trina Teal's, and here's Rita. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say before we go, Rita?
Well, I just love to paint.
That's the best thing. How could we end on anything better than that?
Yes, and thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate this.
Thank you, Rita. I'm at the Chelmsford Library with the new marketing specialist, Jeff Hartman. How are you, Jeff?
I'm well. How are you today, Tom?
Good, thanks. How long have you been the marketing specialist, Jeff?
I've been working here at the Chelmsford Library since January this year.
Since January this year. Now we're in October, right? So it's
That's
about
right.
10 months?
Yep.
Approximately. And how do you like it so far, Jeff?
Oh, it's great. I really like the community. It's a great library. We have a fantastic team here and lots of great resources for the whole community.
And what exactly does a marketing specialist do, Jeff?
So I'd have a bunch of different roles. The one that you're here for today is that I'm helping to organize the art exhibitions. Every month we have a different artist or group of artists come in and show their work at the library, and then we have a poster reception for them so they can meet members of the community who are interested in their work. But I also produce our publicity materials, and I work on our social media team, so a lot of things that you'll see on Twitter and Facebook, that's me. So yeah, I'm really active online.
Are you the, do you control the library page on Facebook?
Yes, that's mostly me, though occasionally other people will post to it as well.
So that's good for you to post what's going on right there,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And then do you send out that monthly email with the activities for the library, which
Yeah.
I read?
Yep, I also make the newsletter and the print calendar, and sort of do a lot of things with our communications behind the scenes.
And how do you like doing that, Jeff? It must be a great job, right?
Oh yeah, it's really great. I mean, I come from a library background, and
Oh.
I used to work on the front desk. So there's just a different way of connecting with people and making sure they know about everything great that we're doing here. I'm always happy to just sit down and talk to people about books that I like to, though, and make recommendations. So.
Do you read a lot of books, Jeff?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, you certainly have a lot to choose from right here at the library.
Definitely.
And how's the circulation going lately at the library?
Oh, it's really
Which,
good.
still keeping up
Yeah.
very well. That's because I know many more people are streaming videos now rather than taking them out like they used to.
Yeah, that still counts as library circulation, though. We actually do a lot to promote our digital collections, especially Hoopla and Overdrive, where we've got books and magazines and movies and TV shows. So anytime you want to binge watch something or you want to listen to an audiobook, you don't have to pay for it. Just check out the library website.
It's on. And what do you know what the library website is? How do you find it? Chelmsford Library.
Yeah, chelmsfordlibrary.org.
And are you saying you could stream videos right there from the library?
Yeah, absolutely.
Website?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can do it.
Interesting. So that's interesting. You have a lot of movies there, or
Yeah.
just
Yeah, there's a bunch of different collections, and some
Oh,
of them are really
collections.
just your standard popular films. Some
Yeah.
of them are sort of specialized collections of foreign films or documentaries. So you can really browse and find different things depending on what you're looking for.
wonderful. Well, and did you study library science in college, Jeff?
No, actually, I have a sort of a diverse background. I started out working at a circulation desk right out of college. I was an English and history major. Then I went away to grad school for a while and was doing a PhD in medieval history. That sort of didn't entirely work out the way I intended to, though I did work as an adjunct professor for a little while.
Oh.
I came back to the library world and sort of enjoying spreading the message about what a great job public libraries can still do for our community.
Wonderful. And you're doing a great job, Jeff, and it's great to talk with you today.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll see you at many other receptions here at the library.
I hope so. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Jeff. So I'm here at the reading room of the Chelmsford Library with Peter. What's your last name, Peter? Kostoulakos.
Yeah.
And Peter Kostoulakos is a great artist and a great art restorer. Peter, how long have you been restoring art?
Since the mid-'70s.
Since the
Started doing
mid-'70s, really?
Yeah.
You don't look that old, Peter. That can't be right.
You're too nice.
But I know Peter does a great job because sometimes he'll post them on Facebook, the original piece of art, and then what it looks restored, what it looks like then, and what a difference it makes, Peter.
Yeah.
So that's what you do full time, right?
Now I do.
Now
I was
you
a
do.
teacher for 33 years, and I did this. This was my afternoon and evening job, restoring artwork.
You were an art teacher, I mean?
Graphic communications, yeah.
Graphic
Greater
communications.
Lawrence Technical School.
Greater Lowell Technical School. So how many years did you do that, Peter?
33 years.
33 years, really? Oh, nice. So now you have a nice retirement from that.
Yep, I was doing restoration, appraisals, consulting, and now I do mostly just restoration. I don't do written appraisals, but I will help people as a consultant. I'll help people find values for their art.
Wonderful.
If they're a listed painter, I can find them easily on sites that I subscribe to,
Yes.
and then just give them the information that I find without doing a written appraisal.
Wonderful.
But the restoration is what keeps me busy.
And how many restorations do you do a year on average?
Well, I don't know altogether, but since the mid-'70s, I've done, I stopped keeping track after 4,000 paintings. So I've
Now,
done a lot of
4,000
paintings,
you've done, and
over
you stopped keeping
4,000.
track? That's amazing, Peter. No wonder you're so good at it.
About 4 years ago, a collector, in 2008, when we were in a recession,
Yeah.
the galleries, the dealers, and the frame shops, that work dried up. They weren't They weren't selling, so they weren't buying, and if they weren't buying, they didn't have to have things restored.
Yes.
So what happened is about a year later, collectors started buying because there were lower prices. So a man up in New Hampshire called me and he said he had about 50 or 60 paintings in his collection that needed restoration. So I thought, that's a pretty good job, 50 or 60 paintings.
Yes.
That first year that I did work for him, I did 110 paintings for just him.
Restoring them.
And I did work for other people too at the same time.
Oh,
But
my
110 for him.
How did you have time to do all that,
Well,
Peter?
it's, that's a little too much pressure now at my age. I like to take it a little bit slower now, and so right now it's nice. I always have work,
Yes.
but it's not overwhelming.
Yes.
And I compare it to an artist that paints every day,
Yeah.
and they enjoy their work.
Yeah.
But then when they're having an exhibit and they're under the gun, now they have to finish things, they have to get things framed. Now it's more of a nerve-wracking experience. So they're
Yes.
doing something they like, but when it gets too busy,
Yes.
it's nerve-wracking. So right now, things are very good for me. I'm getting the work,
Wonderful.
but I'm not overwhelmed by it anymore.
Yes. So, Peter, if someone has a old painting that they'd like you to restore, how could they get in touch with you?
Well, I live in Lowell, Mass.
Yeah. Is your number listed, phone
Yeah,
number?
my number's listed. It's 978-453-8888.
453-8888.
Right.
That's easy, huh? Four
It's
eights
really
at the end there, huh?
Real easy. And
Wow.
I have a website that's
Oh.
PKArt,
PKR.
PKART.com. PK is for Peter Kostoulakos,
Yeah.
but a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I'm also on Facebook.
All right.
So if you go to Facebook and you put in Peter Kostoulakos,
Yes.
then you'll come to my page.
Wonderful.
And so it's easy to get in touch with me if they do have work.
And you've done a lot of work for Chelmsford residents, right, over the
Yes,
years,
yeah.
Peter?
Lots of work for Chelmsford residents,
Wonderful.
Lowell, small museums, historical societies, libraries, things of that nature.
Wonderful.
And now, right now, like I say, in the late 70s, 80s, and 90s, most of the work that I had was I would get from art dealers, galleries, and frame shops. And now it's the other side. It's more what I'd call retail.
Yes.
I'm getting the collectors now.
Yes.
And so they're buying up the artwork, and they need it cleaned and restored. So
Yeah, so you clean and restore them beautifully. As I said, you've done some
Thank
wonderful
you.
work. Where if people go to Facebook on your page, they could
Yeah.
see some examples
Yes.
of them, the before and after.
Right.
And also in my Chelmsford Arts group, sometimes we share them there
Yes.
on
Thank you.
Facebook, Chelmsford Arts it's called. And so thank you very much for talking with us today, Peter.
Thank you. You've been very good to me on Facebook, too. So,
Oh, and same here, Peter. I love all your thumbs up.
thank you.
Here we go. Okay.
Okay, welcome to the blacksmith shop, Mr. Byam's shop. I'm Paul Windt. This is Rick White, and we're working for Mr. Byam today. Rick's really doing the work. He's doing the blacksmithing, and I'm doing the talking. I think it's an even division of labor, but I'm not sure about how Rick feels. Rick's making a hook, something very close to this. I don't know whether you can see that.
But it's bigger than that.
Well, it's going to be bigger than that, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be. Sometimes we make plant hangers, things like this.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you make them swirl?
Ah, that's a craft secret. We put it in the vise and we twist one end of it. And we actually twist the metal around. That's how we
What's the
bake it.
metal? That's how strong that is? That's
Yeah.
stronger?
See what you can do about twisting. So Rick's working on the fire.
I can't.
Right, that's our most important, you can pass that around, let somebody else give a shot at it. That's our most important tool, is the fire, because without it, we couldn't warm up the metal and get it to the point where we can work it. Other important tools, Rick's using the anvil.
That's a lot.
Hammers. I see a hand.
So, when he pulls the lever to put air into the fire, does it come just from the chimney down, or does it come from a source?
Come on over here, guys and girls. Guys is a generic term.
Mommy, no.
No, can't come in here. You gotta stay back there, or I'll get in trouble. So do it. Okay. Over here is the other important tool. using. And that's this bellows. This is what they call a double-chambered bellows. There he is. You were asking Tom. So what happens is the air is in the bottom chamber of the bellows. See how it's just... And when Rick gets going, he's going to start to pump. And he's pushing the air from the bottom of the bellows up into the top chamber. There's a one-way valve in between the two of them, so the air can go up, but it can't come back down again. Where can it go? Well, it goes through a pipe that you can't see, through this chimney, but the pipe goes all the way through the chimney, to the bottom of the fire right there. And that's where the air comes from when he starts to pump, and that's where we get the hotter fire going, because it's got some more oxygen. And then, Mr. Byam, the first blacksmith there was Marcus Byam. Is it? Well,
Can I go to buy it? Yeah.
and you know why that's called Byam? Because of the Byams and their work. Marcus was a blacksmith and a farmer. Yep. That name is very common around here.
Yeah, I'm a blacksmith.
So, he started this business, and then his son volunteered for the Civil War. He went off with a Massachusetts regiment for, I forget, 6 or 9 months or so, and then came home. And then he volunteered for the Signal Corps, which wasn't a really well-known part of the Army at the time. But anyway, when Daniel got back from the Civil War, he decided that he could make a great business out of being a blacksmith. And what he did was he decided he would work on sleds and sleighs and things like that, because around here, the farmers all needed those things in the wintertime. And so when you go through the barn, you'll see some sleds that they put together.
We already saw it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was amazing.
So, in the barn, you saw some blue sleds. They're...
No, we didn't.
you
They
did?
were black.
They were black now? Okay, they're about 3 feet, 4 feet long, maybe a couple of feet wide. And the way they would work in the wintertime was they'd go out to get trees and things. And they would put one end, they would fell the tree, drop it down, and then they put one end on the one sled and one end on the other sled, lash it down, hook up a horse or an oxen, and drag it home.